I am actually on a conference call with the governor's office. As you know, in the city of Buffalo, we are more than about a week away from the horrific incident that is happening, racially motivated. And we are making sure that we're taking care of those families that have been affected, the neighborhood, looking at issues of in terms of food insecurities and a whole host of other different things. And I can't say enough for folks in the city of Buffalo who have banded together and working with individual organizations to assist a community that have been impacted. As one community is impacted, it impacts us all. And so, again, I just want to say thank you to all of those organizations, and really also to say thank you to folks in the Board of Block Clubs, um, who have done some heroic type of activities in that respect too. So I did not introduce myself. My name is Oswaldo Mestri. I am the Director of Citizen Services, and welcome to our weekly block chat. We have continued this block chat in terms of two-way communication with residents in the community from the pandemic, and thought it be righteous to make sure that we share information about things that are happening, organizations, information, and this is just another way. I'm excited about the speaker that we have doing a lot of great things and want to be able to I'll introduce them a little later on about the work that they're doing, but I'm going to turn it over to my young colleague here, Nicole, and she's going to bring us through um, our weekly events. And then I do have an exciting announcement regarding Love Your Block. We went to a meeting yesterday. Shout out to the Board of Block Clubs. But I'll let Malika tell you about it later on because we are extending. Well, I just said it. Well, Malika, you let them know all of this stuff, okay? Nicole?
Welcome, everybody. So I'm just going to jump right into the announcements. We don't have too many, but still very important announcements. So let me know when you guys can see my screen. Okay. Okay, so as always, I just want to share like the most pertinent announcements first. So we have Erie County Community Partners offering support services in light of everything that has just happened, the recent tragedies. So there's still free mental health and trauma counseling happening that will be ending today at Johnny B. Wiley, however. So it runs until 9 p.m. today. No appointment needed, and they do have services for children and a host of other partners there as well. But for additional support, you can call the Crisis Services Hotline at 834-3131, and I will put that number in the chat box. There is a number of ways to donate or volunteer, free food and community services, compensation, and assistance as well. And so I did email this flyer out to those who needed it, and I can email this out again. The Community Resource Center is providing essential resources for neighborhood residents. This is on 347 East Ferry Street. If you know anybody who may need this, please share this information with them. Those in need of transportation to the grocery store, there is the Tops Market shuttle service, and Lyft and Uber are offering free rides up to $25 and $20 for the residents who reside in those zip codes. As well as Hearts and Hands is providing free transportation to community members who need access while the TOPS is closed, and you can schedule that with the number listed on screen. We also have some ways to assist the victims and the survivors as well. These are two of the foundations, so you can email Help Buffalo at thepartnership.org or call the number there, donate to the Survivors Fund, nationalcompassion.org. Again, there is trauma response and supportive counseling services. I can send this information out, but they are partnered with Crisis Services, Best Self, Endeavor Health, Spectrum Health, and Human Services, as well as there is a community healing circle hosted by the Erie County Restorative Justice Coalition today at 6 p.m., and that's going to be held at Johnny B. Wiley as well. Additional events happening are the Norfolk Ave Block Club cleanup that is happening Saturday, May 28th, 8 to 11, meet at Norfolk. And personal care items will be collected to help the Jefferson Avenue neighbors. So they've listed the items that they are looking for assistance with. And you can contact them on Facebook or via email. There also is the Skate Don't Hate Freedom Roll, a pre-Juneteenth event hosted by Women Against Violence Everywhere, 716 Rollers, and Buffalo Community Schools. This is happening the June 4th from 10 to 4. So it's going to be a lot of great activities, and it's sponsored by the city of Buffalo and the various councilmen as well. Tomorrow there will be a balloon release honoring the founder of MVP, Neil Dobbins, as well as paying respects to everyone impacted by the tragedy at TOP. So this is going to be happening again at Johnny B. Wiley, 1 to 3. And so if you want to get involved, please visit joinmvp.org. Just normal city announcements. Our bulk trash schedule obviously is underway. There may be a little deviation with this, but coming up next will be the Delaware bulk trash. So please put your trash out the Sunday before the date listed for your district. Additionally, just reminding everybody there is different locations for waste drop-off, electronic waste, refuse disposal, and yard waste all have different places for drop-off. So please be mindful of that. This is online at our city website, but I can email this out as well. We are still hosting here through the Division of Citizen Services, Crime Prevention through Environmental Design, or CPTED trainings. This one happening coming up is May 25th through May 27th. So it actually just happened, but the next one is going to be June 22nd through 24th. Location will be announced. And then July 27th through 29th, and location will be announced for that one as well. You can register by contacting Ron Dixon. He is a special project manager for crime prevention for the city of Buffalo, and his email is listed on screen, and it will be put in the chat box as well. We are also accepting applications for AmeriCorps. So this is a full-time one-year commitment, 40 hours a week. You must be 18 and over, but there are a host of benefits associated with becoming an AmeriCorps. So if you want more information on how the program works, you can contact Malika Lee. And her email is listed on screen and will be dropped in the chat box as well. And she is our external affairs manager. We also have the mini grant applications live for the Love Your Block. So Malika, if you want to chime in right now, you can talk a little bit about the changes that are happening with the mini grants.
So we have extended the deadline for submissions to June 15th. We've done so in light of the tragic mass shooting that we have in the city of Buffalo. So we will be extending that to allow people time to get their applications in. In addition to extending the deadline, we have also added some workshops. So the definitive workshop that we have now will be June 9th from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Delavan Grider Community Center. And there will be 2 more that will be coming out before the end of the day. And I'll make sure that you all have that information as well. And then another addition to the Love Your Block, we will be adding the Jefferson Avenue area as one of our priority areas to go along with the Black Rock Riverside, Upper West Side, Lower West Side, Maston Park, Broadway, Fillmore, Kensington Bailey, and Schiller Park area. And we will also be adding Fruit Belt in honor of Miss Kat Massey. She was a strong pillar in the Fruit Belt community. So in honor of her passing, we will be also providing preference to those individuals and block clubs that are in the Fruit Belt community. If you have any questions, please feel free to either email loveyourblog@city-buffalo.com or myself directly at mlee@buffalony.gov. Thank you.
Thank you, Malika. So we also are still hosting Great American Cleanup events. You can schedule your own event up until June 22nd. From us, you can request free cleanup supplies such as trash bags and a free trash pickup by calling 311, or you can volunteer to assist at an already scheduled cleanup event. And we will assign you to a location to clean up litter, remove graffiti, or spruce up a community garden. So again, register by calling 311. You can visit the website listed on screen, or for more information, again, you can email Mr. Ron Dixon at rdixon@buffalony.gov. If you want to volunteer and become a part of our Good Neighbors Network and help us do what we can do for a good cause, we are looking for more volunteers. So to find out more about this, you can contact our Save Our Streets coordinator, Mr. Michael Smith. His email is listed on screen. It will be dropped in the chat box. You can reach out to him via phone, or you can call 311 for more information and to be added to the Good Neighbors Network. If you are looking to start a block club or need assistance with your block club, you can contact the Board of Block Clubs for Buffalo and Erie County. They have an email, phone number, Facebook, and Instagram. They respond on all platforms, and that information will be dropped into the chat box as well. And they can help you become a catalyst for building and strengthening your community. If you're looking for something for the summer for your children or to become a part of, there is a Soccer for Success program through Independent Health. They are looking for coach mentors, as well as you can register your child to become part of this season. The soccer practices are 90 minutes, 3 days a week, and they receive all that they need to be able to participate, including equipment. And it runs up until July 1st. And they are also looking for coaches, and it is 5 days a week and a 2-hour practice, and you can register at buffalosoccerforsuccess.com. Say Yes Buffalo is also hosting a summer camp. They're hiring teachers and support staff, as well as you can register your child. It is academic and sports based. So the deadline to register is Friday, June 24th. And you can apply online as well at sayyesbuffalo.org if you would like to be a teacher or support staff. There is a scholarship opportunity for Hispanic students who have excelled in their field of study. It is an $1,000 scholarship, and looking for well-rounded students who are participating in their community, have excellent grades, and an example to others. So the scholarship application deadline is June 1st, and you can contact the Anita Leon Rodriguez, scholarship chair, through the number or email listed on screen. We do have an Erie County Let It Go program, and it provides parents and caregivers with supportive educational tools to address negative effects of toxic lead exposure. If you want to participate in the program, you can call the number listed on screen or email info@beyondboundariestherapy.org. Last camps that are being offered, some community music school summer of camps. They have various camps that are being offered for various ages. So for information and pricing, you can call the number on screen or visit communitymusicbuffalo.org. And she has also waived the fees for those who children who are in the 14208 and 14209 zip codes. So if you do know any children that would like to participate in the camps, please pass that information along, and they can go to camps for free or receive lessons for free. There's University United Festival happening June 11th and 12th. This has, various events and activities for kids, vendors, admission, etc. If you want more information, you can visit universityunitedfestival.com. As always, just reminding everybody that COVID is still here. And so we just encourage everybody to keep up with their COVID testing, either through Erie County or self-testing. You can find information on COVID test sites at COVID-19buffalony.gov, or you can alternative look on the county website. If you want some information about vaccinations, that will also be listed on that website as well. And if you are looking for emotional support, you can use the emotional support helpline sponsored by Project Hope through buffalourbanleague.org. It is free, anonymous, and confidential, and it is open Monday through Saturday, 8 to 7 p.m. And lastly, just reminding everybody to follow us on social media. We do have a Facebook and an Instagram. So our Facebook is at Buffalo Citizen Services, and our Instagram is Buffalo311. And we do have another Facebook webpage that is more specific to our 311 call and response center. And that at Facebook is at Buffalo311, as well as if you do not follow the mayor, please follow the mayor at Mayor Byron Brown on Facebook, and on Instagram at Mayor Byron Brown 716. Thank you.
Nicole, thank you very much for the announcements. A lot of great things that are happening within the city of Buffalo, but even more now. I talked earlier about the resiliency of this city and how people are pitching in, not just organizations, but businesses. Look more in terms of the future from information in terms of coordination. We understand that what's happening on Jefferson Avenue or in these communities, there's the immediate need, and then looking towards the long-term need, um, of not the safety and security, but also the economic vibrancy of a community. And so we are keenly aware from a city perspective. We have different city agencies, and the state and the governor's office have been working very closely also with the county as well. And so, we're going to move forward. We were always doing that, but we're going to continue to do that. And we need each and every one of your help as we move with that too. And so prayers and hugs are important. The emotional well-being of that is important. And each one of you are frontline. I call them frontline workers, or folks who help other folks. And so we want to make sure that you guys take care of yourselves. Very important, because you can't be anything to somebody if you're not something to yourself. And I have to take that advice. My staff tells me that, and we all try to maintain that we, have a degree of this ourselves and what we do, and as we are assisting other people too. Because at the end of the day, this is our community. We live in it. We're impacted upon it. I live 6 minutes away from the site, and we just need to be mindful. Talking about not being too far from the site and where it's at, our next speaker, um, and the organization has done quite a bit in working with other organizations. If you haven't been there, and she's going to talk more about the Foundry and the relationships and the memberships and all of the different things that are out there. But if I had to kind of categorize it as one of those organizations that help people help themselves, right? Or kind of inch them along the way, and kind of model and showing the way in terms of the different things, and talking about accessible art and community engagement and a whole host of different things. I'm going to let us tell her story, and then she's going to invite you a little more to, her world. And you're going to find out that her world is not that far from where you're at, and those worlds collide. And when things collide in a good way, good things happen. So Megan McNally, who is the founder, right, and director. Well, I'll let you explain who you are. Welcome to the Block Chat.
Thank you so much. And I feel like I've been missing out, because you guys ran through all of the amazing things that is happening in the city of Buffalo. And I feel like we need more of this sort of news, instead of just what's shared on the the broad news. So it felt really good to see all the resources and all the amazing stuff that's happening in our community. So thanks for continuing to share that sort of stuff. And yes, as was said, we are located at Northampton Street on Jefferson Avenue, right around the corner from what happened a couple weeks ago now. And, it's just been really challenging to see police cars and see what's happening in our community, and also know of the amazing stuff that happens every day in our community as well. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about the Foundry and, what sort of resources are available to folks across the wider community. And so I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Let me know if you can see it. So I'm going to talk broadly about what we do, and then I'm going to focus really on some more of the products and things that we made, because actually, speaking of Love Your Block, it's a really good opportunity if folks are looking to get stuff added to their neighborhood gardens or on the sidewalk or on the streets. We do all sorts of community projects as well. So we're the Foundry, like I said, 298 Northampton Street. And we are in a 25,000 square foot warehouse. And you can see some of the stuff that we do already, but the next slide on the screen, if I can get to it, okay, highlights the three main things that we do. So one is entrepreneurship, business incubation. So we have about 30 different businesses and business spaces within our warehouse that get people sort of moving out of their house. Maybe they're taking over their living room or whatever, and it's time to move on and really make a go of their business. So we focus on primarily maker related businesses, so that, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean you need to be making something, but there's, you know, graphic designers and sort of like design related things as well. And so we offer, it starts at about 100 square feet, and inclusive of, you know, you pay a flat rate, but inclusive of that, we do all sorts of business support services, mentoring, networking. I say on a weekly basis, I probably give tours to hundreds of people at a time. And so, you know, people are taking business cards from each and every one of those folks. And we do a lot of referrals in-house as well, if we can. And so it's a broad range of services that people offer. Like I said, graphic design would be one, but there's also candle makers or printers, or there's even a makeup artist upstairs that serves clients. And woodworkers, metal workers, fabricators, all sorts of work that can get done in there, and, you know, clothing, etc. So, you know, if you're not so much in the entrepreneurship space, but you're looking for services, we often act just as a referral agency. Even if we don't know directly in our space, we typically know somebody in the local community who has a small business who would need your support. So please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll try to refer you to the right folks. The second thing that is core to our mission is really around education. And so my background's in woodworking, and I started a woodworking company, and really felt like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but contractors or folks who become professionals in things tend to forget when they were first learning it. And so, you know, they'll talk over your head. You'll feel like you'll never become proficient in some of these skills. And we're here to say, like, everybody's a maker at heart. You know, whether you're a baker or a painter or a welder, everybody has that level of creativity inside of them in some fashion. And so it's up to us to kind of find that spark in folks. And so we do a broad range of educational services, starting from about 5th grade. We do a lot of work with middle schools and programs that serve middle schoolers. So if you're a community member that has a program looking to do more in STEAM world and making, we can partner with you and provide instruction to your students. And that's typically off-site, so we don't host many 5th through 8th graders on-site. But we host a lot of high school after-school students. So a lot of our high schoolers come in and do youth entrepreneurship. So start from finish, they design items, they make them, and then they sell them. And actually, during the like, I'm so thankful, honestly, that we were all busy, all of our staff and all of our students were offsite selling and celebrating the students doing their youth entrepreneurship, their final market, and you know, sold tons of stuff when the tragic event at Tops was happening. But they're just amazing young people that are learning their way and considering entrepreneurship as an avenue and a career pathway. As well as we do all sorts of STEAM after school programs for young people. And it's really about highlighting options in those fields and saying that, like, there's a varied range of careers that you can consider. We don't have any particular like stance on where you should land. It's really about finding that spark within you and helping you navigate to like what's next for you. So whether it's college, trade school, business ownership, you know, really, how can we just help you find your way and be exposed to as many different ways as possible. So if you have any young people who are in 9th through 12th grade, that's, you know, they can sign up for programs through us starting in the fall. We also do a great program with the Summer Youth, Mayor Summer Youth, the internship program, and we host about 12 or so students a year. So people can request to be placed with us. And then as far as if you know folks who are out of school, who have dropped out of high school and are kind of arriving at needing a pathway, we do workforce training. Western New York Youth Build is on site with us. So they work with about 100 students a year who've dropped out of school and who are looking for career pathways and getting their high school equivalency. We do a manufacturing training with them where the student, it's a 12-week program. that students are placed afterwards into an internship directly with manufacturers, local manufacturers, to hopefully gain employment at the end of their internship. So like I said, broad range of educational services. And then the last thing is really providing access to tools and resources through our maker spaces. So we have open maker hours Monday nights and Saturday mornings, where anybody, like literally anybody in the community, I'll say that with a caveat, you do have to be over 18 in some of our spaces, but if you're a younger person, it depends on the space, but you can be paired with an adult to come and access as well. But really to provide relatively inexpensive, it's a donate what you can. You know, if you have $1, you have $50, you have $100, whatever you think is worth it to you, you can use our spaces to produce whatever you are working on. And then we also make all sorts of public art, which is our public projects, which is what I'm going to focus the rest of my time on, because I know, you know, the Love Your Black application is out there, and we'll also talk about creative ways to fund some of these projects. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is Foundry Made. It's paired with our workforce development program, and it's an employment program for our young people that are going through the program as a way to earn additional income. And so they're paid to fabricate items in our different shops. And so along the way, they're developing a toolkit for technical and life skills that would equip them for future world of work. So, you know, when they choose to then go into employment, they sort of have these fundamental experiences around like what to expect in a workplace setting, but also, you know, what sort of skills can they bring along the way. So if you're already light years ahead because you know how to weld something or whatever, or even if you just have familiarity with with different processes, that can help go a long way in terms of employment. So examples of what we do, this is actually in a garden in Riverside. We work with community groups, block clubs of all sorts who are requesting different items be made. You can see the bench. We just basically just replaced the bench slats for them. But, you know, we do all sorts of benches and bike racks and things. And I'll just give you an idea of sort of what that looks like. This is a bench on the left that's it's a cedar bench that's getting installed with Grassroots Gardens in, I don't remember, Stockbridge, I think, is the community garden that's going into. And so we're working with that community garden to install this and have a ribbon cutting for our students. It's really important for us to have a ribbon cutting so that we can celebrate the students' work. And also it's great because the students can see it out in the community making an impact. They can share it with their families and show the hard work that they've done. And then the other example is a picnic bench that was made for a community garden in Riverside. So if we're doing it alone, where we're paying our students to do it, there's an 8 to 12 week lead time, cost between $5,000 and $2,000, or $500 and $2,000, just depends on sort of what we're making. And really, the best way to get the process started is just to reach out to us. We have a director of our Foundry Made program that would work directly with a community to kind of line up and say, do you have the funding? Do you not? How do we align funding? Sometimes we can get sponsors to come and sponsor a bench or a table or whatever. Oftentimes we've worked with council members who've been super supportive of trying to just make sure that both our students get a great learning opportunity, but also the community gets something that's, you know, very tangible that can land somewhere. We've built little libraries. It's really important for this one to do it in quantity. It just doesn't make sense for us to do it in small quantities, like less than 10. But we've talked to different groups that are interested in, you know, getting together as a group of block clubs to put together an order. That would be something that we could do. We just did 10 for Jillian Hainsworth is doing a literacy stuff on literacy, and she's the poet laureate for the city of Buffalo. So she's got 10 of these that she's going to be installing in the future. We also do work with community groups. So, you know, just dependent on different situations, you can certainly ask us if there's, you know, a community group that wants to come in and actually build it with us. That's a whole different process, but, you know, you can start the same way. Just reach out to us and say, you know, your level of interest. It just depends on whether your community groups want to build it or if they feel more strongly that it would be a great opportunity for kids to build it and land it within their community. So it's just, you know, different. We build all sorts of bike racks. This bike rack, actually, this is a image of it pre-painted. So it's actually really, it's like a bright blue teal color now. It was powder coated. And that's actually at the Connection in Niagara Falls. So if anybody's been out there, they have a great teen center that's available for teens. But the problem is there's so many teens with bikes and they had nowhere to put them. So Go Bike had funding to fund a bike rack. They contacted us and we made it for them. The one on the lower right is made for Grassroots Gardens. You can see all the vines and stuff. And I don't know where that I think that top one's just another example. But yeah, the lead time would be 10 to 12 weeks. Honestly, the sooner rather than later that you can talk to us about things that you'd like made. You know, we tend to fill up pretty quickly in terms of the, you know, especially during the kind of growing season or the warm season, we're like frantically creating things. So we have like a going list of on a Google map of like, find all the things the Foundry has made across the city of Buffalo. And it's actually really extensive. So maybe we'll do a scavenger hunt one day of all the fun things that we've made. So the next thing is people always ask like, what's a good project fit for for Foundry Made? It really helps if there's multiples. Although like if it's a bigger thing like a bike rack, then you know it really could just be one of them. Assembly tasks. So I'll give you an example. We just made 900 clocks for M&T Bank. As like an employee recognition gift. It's really good to have repetitive tasks for our young people to kind of just get used to a process and understand like how to make things and how to make them in small batches. Ready to build projects. The more you have as an idea, the easier it is for us to implement. Oftentimes people come in and say like, I want something made. And then they like really have no idea like the size of it, the shape of it, any of the design components. So the more that you can kind of on your end think about like, I want a 5-foot long bike rack or, you know, something that just kind of pairs it down is very helpful before, you know, having a conversation with us. Although we typically will support you in just sending you a list of things to think about if you're, you know, hemming and hawing and needing help with the design. And then community support.
I can't get you to build a house for me, right?
No, although we've been talking about building small houses because Western New York Youth Build does build houses, and
that's true.
We know that affordable housing is getting even less affordable these days. So maybe.
Very true.
I won't say no, but at this point, no. And then the last thing is really just having community support. So it's really important for us. Again, I said the ribbon cutting stuff, but it's, you know, we're not doing things for people's backyards, right? It's really about how do we make our city more connected and more beautiful and more of a place that we're proud of. And, you know, part of that starts with our young people and our community members just building stuff for themselves. And I think that we've seen that really with the response here on Jefferson. It's, you know, it's great to have people elevate what we're doing, but like, you saw who came out. It's community members helping themselves. And that's what we're all about, is really making sure that there's a level of community support behind what we do. And, you know, making sure that it lands prominently so that our young people and our community members can be really proud of the stuff that's made here. This always comes as a question. This is kind of a fun project here that's located on Oxford Square Garden. Or Oxford Square Block Club. And I believe actually part of that was funded by a Love Your Block grant. But
it was.
Yeah, and also partially supported by the Block Club itself. And so, you know, it's just like we just work together to make it possible no matter what. So if you're enthusiastic about it, we'll find a way to build it. It might take a while. So sometimes, we've run out of sponsorship funding for the year, but we really try to work through council members, through community support, through different grants and micro grants that are available. We'll try to find a way with you to fund it. And obviously, if you have existing funding and you want to just come to us, that's certainly an easy way as well. And then this is lastly just, my contact information. If I can't give you an answer, I'll certainly forward you to the person who, is in charge. So Adam is on our end, deals with a lot of the inquiries for building stuff. And then if you're just interested in some of the other stuff I spoke about in terms of accessing our business spaces or coming in to utilize our stuff during office or open maker hours, you can just visit our website. A lot of the information is on there as well, or you can just reach out to our info at the foundrybuffalo.org also would be a good one. And that's it.
Megan, thank you very much. I always talk about there's a lot of great things that are happening in Buffalo, and look, about the great things that are happening at the Foundry. There was a gentleman that I worked with doing some block club stuff a while back ago. And I think this is when the Foundry was just kind of in its infancy. His name was Kevin Hayes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good friend of mine. I don't know if he's still involved or not. But he would always champion like, you got to come over here. You got to take a look at this or whatever. And to see that you guys are continuing with that is just phenomenal. A couple of questions, and we always at this point in time there are questions that are abound. You mentioned I know what a maker's mark is. Can you explain to folks what that is?
Yeah, makerspace. Yeah, so it's just basically, it's sort of, if anybody's familiar with the tool library, it's a very similar concept and just providing affordable access to tools. And so in the tool library sense, it's mostly you can rent tools and take them home. For us, we're using bigger equipment that can't be transported, right? So it's like the table saws, it's the nice welders, it's the plasma cutters, it's all the bigger equipment in shops that like might not make sense for you to move, but that we want to make that resource available to community members, and people use it for such a broad range of reasons. So we've had folks like Valeria Cray, who's a local artist, come in and make stuff here. We've worked with Sarah Fonzie, who's made many metal sculptures around town. And so, we're working with public art artists who need fabrication space, but we're also working with the person down the block who just really needs space to make shelves for their house. And so, it's a broad range. We don't care what you're using it for. If you want to make stuff, that's great. We're enthusiastic about providing access to folks. So it really is just about providing those resources so that you don't have to shell out tens of thousands of dollars in equipment costs for yourself. So
I think that's great.
Megan.
And I have Debbie's going to ask a question in a second. I have two other questions. So I'm going to say that Malika Lee, who coordinates I Love Your Block grant, I know she's taking notes. She's going to probably reach out to you. We have used your organization in the past where we've leveraged funds, and block clubs can go there, and and I think we either have funded you or funded them, and they funded you. But that looks like a match made in heaven, right? Or match made in Buffalo. So we're gonna work to strengthen what those are. We've extended our Love Your Block grant, and so we're going to be doing some workshops. And so to the extent that maybe perhaps when the Board of Block Clubs is doing one, you can kind of maybe be there as a resource, and folks can see you as a way that we can help out in that respect too. So that I think those are very, very important in terms of visioning. And then you talked about referrals, right? Or thank you for being there, but how can we help you, or how can folks, obviously money, right? But also this other ways that you could, folks can assist. Maybe there's donated time or something like that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so we're always looking for skilled volunteers. I think that's a primary. So, we want to make sure that people are supported if they're coming in and using our maker spaces. And we would hope that, people who are skilled are willing to volunteer their time to just help somebody else out. And so we have different volunteer opportunities available for some skilled folks to come in and just like give a couple hours a month just to talk to other people about the projects they're making. I think the other thing really is we want to blow this out of the park in terms of how we support our young people making stuff and getting paid and earning this sort of stuff. And so the more community groups and block clubs and honestly, like employers and I always think of developers as well. Like people are putting in bike racks left and right. People are putting in benches. Like if you're considering doing that, contact us first and see if we're available. I think that the more that we can employ our students doing these opportunities, the better. And to be honest, though, I do want to be honest in that we do have a certain capacity, and we're always trying to grow our capacity. And so bear with us as we try to grow our capacity in serving this Western New York community. And we might have to say no, or we might have to say maybe not now, maybe in the future, right? And so just want to put that out there, that we might not always be able to do it, but we will try our hardest.
And Megan, speaking from working with not-for-profits, that's a very healthy attitude, and don't be apologetic for that. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, know your
A
capacity,
lot
of
of
course,
times we take on projects and we whatever, and maybe you're not saying no, but it's like not right now,
Yeah.
until you can kind of grow. And I think often we take on things and things fall by the wayside. And so I think you have a unique and interesting problem to have. Debbie, you had a question?
Hi, good afternoon, Megan. I have two block clubs that just recently reached out to me, and you're talking right about it, of a project that they're going to be doing with the Love Your Block. So I'm going to forward your information to them. And one of them was about trash cans. They want to do something to help the litter in their area, and they were looking at ones that maybe could go on a pole, a light pole or whatever. But I'll have them reach out to you regarding that. And I also will reach out to you regarding a bench that we need to have taken care of on a specific corner. It's actually got a bus stop there. The bench doesn't really belong to anybody. So we're going to kind of take ownership of it. So I'll reach out for you to you about that.
Sure.
But yeah, this was great. I just today alone, I had 2 emails regarding who they can contact to make the trash cans and so on. So I'm glad
Yeah,
that
and
this
actually,
happened today.
we did a bunch of them with Weedy on Grant Street a while back, like those spin bin
Yep,
kind
we
of
did.
things. And I guess the other thing I didn't really mention is sort of the challenge of working alongside and making sure to work alongside the city of Buffalo. So,
Right.
sometimes there can be concerns around like who's emptying those trash bins and that sort of stuff. So just
Right.
make sure to check with like Department of Public Works if it's on, in
We
those
did
ways and that sort of stuff. So just,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
just putting
been
it out.
there, done that, Megan. I got you, girl. So I know how the routine goes. So yeah, no, we've already done that. We've already explained. I've already explained to her about that and so on. So this is really great stuff. And it's just so funny how it happened this morning, and here you are talking about it. So it's a match made in heaven, I say. So,
Totally.
but thank you, great presentation, and I'll be reaching out to you over the weekend. Thank you so much.
There was a
Thank you.
couple other questions more into the chat group here.
Yep.
And let me lift up Angela from the Norfolk Avenue Block Club. She said your presentation was timely. Shout out to Angie, what you did in terms of your cleanup, but you also collected items for Jefferson too. Just want to lift you up in that respect too. Megan's email is on here. Let's see. And then Linda mentioned that, are you making tiny libraries for Jillian?
Mhm.
I'm looking for a little short one for our garden story time. So instead of 10, she's looking like maybe can you make 11?
Yeah, I know. I wish you had contacted me
Yeah.
like a couple months ago because we already made those. But
But
I think you know, we get enough requests that, you know, at some point maybe we'll just like pool all those people and say, yes, we have 10 and we're ready to go. So certainly reach out to me. I'll definitely put you on a list. If not, there are places online that you can order from. I know I just said please support us, but
Well, I had talked to Julian and she said that that I would be getting one, but she is so busy
Oh,
that
I
I
know.
thought maybe I would, just take matters into my own hands,
Well,
But-
she does have them. She has 10.
Okay, all right. I'll reach out to her again. Thank you. And thank you for your presentation.
Oh,
It
for
was
sure.
good to hear about everything going on. Congratulations.
That's great. With it, Ellen, can you just mute this for a quick second? There is another question. It says to use your makerspace. Do you have to take a class first, depending on the tool?
Yeah, so there's a safety and or orientation class for each tool or shop, just depending on what you're doing. So primarily for the tech lab, it's a laser cutter or a 3D printer. You have to take one or the other depending on what you're using. And we do have scholarships available too for folks. So, you know, it's just a matter of reaching out to us. And we do have the ability to waive the fee. But it's usually the class is anywhere from $30 to $60, just depending on you know, what class you're taking. But it's once you take that, it's donate what you can, and that's on an annual basis. So like if you give us $1 a year, like you can come in and use our space.
So are you membership driven? And
No.
do they have to pay a membership or?
Yeah, no. So it's just we're donation based. We don't have any like recurring membership or anything like that. I think as a team we decided that membership felt really restrictive for folks. And so we just I mean, I guess you can consider it a membership. You could say $1 membership a year. You know, obviously if you're using it on a more active basis, like you're fabricating in the shop on a weekly basis, like we would hope that you can give a little bit more than that. But just really wanting to not restrict access for folks and you know, keeping it as open as possible.
Yeah, let's talk offline after this. My thought here, and I'll let Malika be a point person on this. We have several different initiatives that we're doing with our SEPTEP classes and Love Your Block, and we're going to engage some residents in place. But maybe perhaps if a block club, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud, my staff is looking at me like, uh-oh, maybe if a block club member wanted to utilize those maker spaces, maybe there are ways that maybe citizen services can assist with maybe that fee or something. But let's kind of like talk a little bit about that. I want to try to be supportive. If it's a community member or a block club member who wants to utilize this, I don't want funding to be a challenge for them. So let's maybe we can assist in some scholarships.
Cool. Thank you. And yes, you can reach out to me about this grant application. Is it due on Tuesday? This coming Tuesday?
We have
It's extended to June 15th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great.
After the block club meeting yesterday, I had a bunch of block club members put me in a corner and held me up, kind of said like, "Oh, Oswaldo." So I had to listen. I'm not gonna say that Linda sicked them on me or Paige said go after him. And
Hey now,
Ellen
come
was
on.
trying to Ellen was trying to protect me a little bit, so but I'm now listen, I want to say thank you, Megan, for your presentation and being a part of our conversation here. I am going to turn this over to Debbie Lombardo, who is our favorite president, the only president of the Board of Block Clubs that's current. As we only have one at a time, and so we appreciate her and her executive team. Debbie, what a great meeting yesterday. Honestly, it was where we at? No, I'm just playing. It was good. I'm going to turn it over.
I'm glad it was a good meeting. Hang on one second. I'm sorry about that. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I heard it was. Sorry I missed it. Thank you to the commissioner and of course our deputy mayor, Crystal Rodriguez Dabney, for coming. I truly appreciated it. And I hope everybody got some answers to their questions. And to my staff that was there, I thank you very much for being there. Really nothing right now except we are helping Malika set up a meeting for the Love Your Block grant on the west side, so that we can, help spread the word and help people write the grants. So we'll know more information hopefully by the end of today, and I can let Malika know. And we're looking forward to helping with the Love Your Block and doing all we can to help the block clubs, just move forward. The summer's coming, so we really need to get out there and, do what we can. Oz, thank you for all of your support. We truly, appreciate it. And really nothing until June. Our meeting is going to be at the Northwest Community Center. It will be on June 23rd. It's, in person, so we're looking forward to that. And we have 2 speakers and a few little surprises that month. So that's it for me. I really didn't have much. I apologize. I sorry I missed a good meeting. I'm glad that we had some really great speakers. And
You got a good team.
Yeah,
They
I
all
do.
pitched in.
Yeah.
You got a very, very good team.
Yep.
I think this was probably your largest turnout, so.
Yeah, I that's what I heard. My husband was at the meeting last night. So I guess, I was like, oh, okay. But he said it was a really good turnout. So I haven't heard anything much from the team itself. So I'm sure, they'll email me and let me know how it went and so on. So I'm looking forward to hearing all the good stuff that happens. So thank you for that and for running such a good meeting while I was away.
Not a problem.
That's it for me, my friend. I'm on a short scale today. Look at that, 12:56. Megan, thank you for the information. Angie actually popped on, but I'm going to send her your information as well. So
Good. We get ready.
Can I piggyback on Debbie there?
Please do. Please do.
So as I want to thank you for your presentation last night too. It was very heartfelt and very he was very emotional and choked up about talking about Kat and some of the I just appreciated you being there last night, as tough as a time as it is right now. And I also would like to say, Debbie, we got our pens in. We got our Block Club official pens in for our swag that we're going to be giving away. They look really great. And
good. Don't give them out yet.
And I also, we gave some out last night.
What?
But
nada. You shouldn't have done that. That was a surprise.
Oh, well, no one told me that.
That's okay. I'm only teasing.
But I also wanted to say something that I heard at one of the wakes I went to from one of our victims, that Buffalo, the eyes are on us, the world, the country, the eyes are on Buffalo, and we didn't break one window. We didn't burn down one building, but we came together as a community, and people are watching that we came together. We're all taking care of each other. The community's pouring in with help, and we're figuring out what's going to happen next. And I'm really proud to be a Buffalonian and be a part of this team of the Block Club leaders and working with Citizen Services. So be proud, Buffalo, and stay strong.
Well, thank you. I want to give a shout out to Art Hall. He was out there yesterday. He's doing things. Art, we're going to have you come as a speaker because you're doing some phenomenal things regarding with bikes and biking and trails and all of those different things too. But as we close, I shared with my colleagues across the country who've been this check-in on Buffalo, and I even wrote this in a post about what had happened on the east side on Buffalo. And one of my last statements was like, no person, no community, no city should ever have to go through anything like this. And then, unfortunately, what happened the other day. So as we close, I just want to pause in a moment of silence to remember those young kids, our babies. and lest we forget them and the innocence of who they are. I think we continue to live the life that is given us and to live it in a way that we are a blessing to others. And so as we close, just gonna close out with a moment of silence for all them young babies and them 2 teachers in Texas. Let's have a great Memorial Day. Let's, remember our troops, that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for this country, both here and abroad. This is that weekend or that day that we remember them and their service and their call to duty. And so, somebody in the armed forces, or if you've had somebody who served or passed on, I want to say thank you to them and have a great weekend in the way that we do, whether you're cooking out or just sitting in the sun or you're traveling, be safe. We'll see you next Friday.
Stay safe, everybody. Stay strong.
Stay safe, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Have a nice weekend.
Bye.
All right. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Will do.
That was Bob.
What's that?
Guys, you're the best.
Thank you.
For everything you do.
Hey, guys, I just have something to say. It's good to be back, and I just wanted to say that, I appreciate everybody, but let's be mindful and take a step back before we speak to people, because we're all going through something right now. So just have care and show love, and be mindful of how you speak to one another and how you treat each other.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Words for the wise.
Bye, Ellen.
Great.
Bye.